Ladies and gentlemen, the staffer who was fired for allegedly filming himself and another individual in a romantic escapade could face criminal charges, likely will face criminal charges according to some legal scholars. Trespassing is one crime. There's also indecent exposure. Um, there are criminal statutes pertaining to certain conduct unbecoming, let's say, of government officials, and so there's criminal behavior their criminal charges could be leveled at the staffer. The number of different charges are explained by Jonathan Turley. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. So, congressional staffer could face legal challenges, could face legal hurdles and face charges, legal experts says. So, he could, or they could, face numerous criminal charges if indeed they were doing more than one video, or just one video alone could lead to charges. And so they do face legal repercussions. You can't have the Senate hearing room. I thought the Democrats viewed the Capitol as, this holy, revered, hallowed ground where democracy and the rule of law and everything good and decent in our republic, our democracy, begins at that building that apparently Trump desecrated in January years back. Well, now they're using it to film certain very unholy activities, or whatever you want to say. Activities that should be not really, it should never be videotaped, in my view. I don't understand why anyone would video. Leave it, the Democrats are so into leaving things to the experts. Why don't you just leave the video or the filming of these types of activities to the experts? Okay? Like the Stormies of the world. It's just never a good idea. I don't care if, you're in great shape and, you're very confident in yourself, but it's just never a good idea. Especially not in the Senate hearing room. I don't get that. Maybe I'm old school and I'm just boring and but I don't understand that this mentality of people who film romantic involvements. I don't get it. There's just nothing good that could come from it. Okay? Because it's gonna get leaked. I mean, I guess Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian, yeah, you get. Every once in a while, a celebrity will use that type of video to, every once in a while, a celebrity will use that type of video to make a great deal of money or build a brand. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen, to read my writing on The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications. Go to hagoodman.com. My Patreon is below, ladies and gentlemen. The Super Thanks is below. And I will have live streams, a number of live streams in January. And this year, I will be putting the pedal to the metal. And we'll do, starting January, 3 to 4 a day, including live streams. I'm doing one a day religiously in December. I'll probably do a little bit more. We'll have a live stream for Christmas, for example, and New Year's. And so 2024 is going to be Trump regaining the Oval Office again. I think Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. I think, speaking of criminal activity and videotapes of, certain conduct, I think that Bill and Hillary will, I think that they will be back. I think it'll be Trump, Hillary Clinton, 2024. I think Hillary Clinton will somehow, some way, they'll pass the baton from Biden to Hillary, and it'll be the relay race from you know where. So Definitely hit subscribe, share this everywhere. Quote, that brings us to trespass. The question may be whether this was access under legal authority for a staffer. I mean, you're obviously trespassing if you're engaging in conduct that has nothing to do with being a Senate staffer. So he was a staffer for the Maryland senator. He was fired. We don't know if he's in the video. We don't know what the specifics are, whatever. He's accused of having been in the video, allegedly been in the video. The Capitol Police can argue that access to a staff position does not mean a license for entry for any purpose. Under 18 U.S.C. 1752, trespass covers anyone who knowingly enters or remains in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority to do so. So, in January, you had a whole bunch of people being imprisoned in part for trespassing. And so there's criminal conduct that could be leveled. The interesting thing is, why would you, what kind of, did you not think, let's say this staffer, this Democratic staffer did that. Did you not think that that the tape would be lost or stolen or leaked? And so then that's, the question is, could possibly this have happened on purpose? So sometimes people want tapes to be released or leaked, and they like a celebrity, for example. The question is, if this took place and you have romantic involvement on a videotape in the nation's capital, how do Democrats reconcile what took place in January, their indignation, and then just ignore this? Okay, you had criminal activity outside of the building. Yes, it was terrible. You had a whole summer full of $1 to $2 billion in property damage and billions in uninsured damage. Okay, and so it's like, I think the mentality among Democrats is that they can literally get away with anything. You have the New York Congressman Bowman who pulled an alarm. I mean, you have Democrats just acting in the most irreverent. They're acting with impunity, and they think that they have all of media. Like, Jimmy Kimmel is not going to talk about this. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, they're not going to do a video on this. They would devote an entire month to two Trump voters who had a romantic relationship videotaped. Oh my God, they would make their own videos. They would, Saturday Night Live would do their own. No one's going to touch this, almost certainly nobody. And if they do, it'll be with, hardly any, vitriol or venom. It'll be like, they'll try to probably champion it. And so the biggest hypocrites on the planet are the far left or Democrats or certain progressives who think that they can just get away with anything and do absolutely anything. And it's just, there's no indignation. It's one thing to be indignant about January. Fine, it was a terrible day. But then it's another thing to completely ignore that summer prior to January with billions in property damage, and then completely ignore a Democratic staffer filming a romantic involvement in the Senate hearing room. I mean, you can't. Okay, walking through, you had supporters of President Trump walking through and like the building. That's a little different from videotaping yourself. I'm not talking about like the criminal activity or vandalism and all that, or mayhem and chaos outside the Capitol. I'm talking about on that day also, doors were opened. And so you had people who just went into offices, and then you had one woman who lost her life that Democrats don't seem to care about. Her life was taken, and she was unarmed, by the way. Everybody there was unarmed. And so it's funny, Democrats make the most absurd leap of logic. You're gonna foment a revolution, but it's going to be unarmed. Okay. This is not that big of a deal. It's only a big deal. Like this, what this staffer is accused of having done is not that big of a deal, but it shows that Democrats believe they can do anything and get away with it. And unfortunately, that's almost the case. You're not going to have the media monstrosity go after showing any indignation over this. And by the way, this is the type of thing that is helping Trump. He's now up 3.5 points in an average of polls. He'll regain the Oval Office. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.